Hi, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to the Will of Life workshop from EarthHeart Temple, Assessing Life Priorities. My name is Brandon Kimball. I am a Yasui Reiki master and teacher, a flowtrition practitioner, a medicinal aromatherapist, and also a melody crystal healer in the Dallas Metroplex. I am also a life coach, and I wanted to share this workshop tonight on the Will of Life, which is a coaching exercise that I first give to clients when we are looking to assess how they're doing in their life and how they're prioritizing things and where they're standing and how happy they are with where they're standing. The purpose of this workshop tonight is just to kind of go into that exercise that I do with my clients, help you to do it, help you interpret the said results from those exercises. And then I also want to go over a little bit of what the benefits of a life coach would be for you if you choose to come in for a coaching session with me at EarthHeart Temple, or for any life coach that you may choose for that matter. I want to go over a little bit of the offerings I have at EarthHeart Temple as well. Let's get started. And before we get started, I do have to read a few disclaimers. I am not qualified to diagnose, treat, or prescribe medications, supplements, essential oils, or crystals for specific diseases. Through my training, I can currently only make recommendations and encourage teamwork to figure out how to address health concerns. This goes for mental, emotional, and spiritual concerns, and the same also goes for coaching as well. I'm not able to diagnose or treat any psychological disorders, and I am not able to treat trauma. I am able to help you form goals, though, and be more future-oriented. I just can't treat anything relating to the past. And finally, the Will of Life exercise enables you to put perspective onto multiple aspects of your life at once. While one area of your life may score low, another area of your life may score much higher. We are looking at how uneven these are, and we are trying to understand what makes this the case, how this is the case. And, multiple areas could score low, but that's because you may be working on something very specific in your life, and that's completely okay if you're okay with it. And if it's not, that's why you hire a coach. A coach will help you be able to form goals that make more sense for you. The coach will be able to help you figure out what's best for you, what you're doing, and we can go from there. At EarthHeart Temple, we have 7 pieces of the pie on our wheel: health, career, friends and family, hobbies and recreation, personal growth, awareness, and then our beliefs. As we put together our wheel, and each coach is going to do this differently. They're going to have different categories they're looking at, but at EarthHeart Temple, we have these 7. What we're essentially doing is we're going to rank each one of these categories from 1 to 10, 1 being we are not satisfied at all, and 10, we are completely satisfied with this wheel. And the way we get those ratings is to ask multiple questions about this wheel. And when you first come in for your coaching session with me, I will be asking you to rate each one of these from a 1 to 10 about how satisfied you are with your wheel. And so with that said, I like to just read each of the questions that I ask for each category so you kind of have a sense of what I'm looking at. With regard to career, I will be asking, is my job rewarding? Is your job rewarding? Does it reflect your values? Do I have opportunity to advance in the company? Right? Sometimes at these companies where we might be in the same position for several years, and we're just not getting anywhere. They're just not promoting us. They're just not seeing what good we can fully offer our companies. And it may be a telltale sign, just depending on how it scores, that maybe you need to seek a promotion, maybe you need to switch jobs. There's hundreds of ways we can look at career and try to go into that in just a moment. For now, go ahead and rank on score of 1 to 10, how satisfied you are with your career. With regard to health, health is straightforward. Health is, we are looking predominantly at the physical body when I'm asking the questions of how are you generally fit? Are you well? Do you feel like you're not so well? Do you have maybe more health concerns that you have to consider just for being alive? How is your diet? Is your diet something you're satisfied with? And how about your exercise routine, if you have one at all? Do you want to exercise? And if so, how much do you do? What do you do? Do you exercise frequently? Do you want help in improving your exercise routine? Go ahead and score that from 1 to 10 as well. Friends and family. This is more of a lump sum category. I also include significant others in the category of friends and family. And again, the point of the friends and family category is really to assess our relationships with everybody in our lives. In this category, I am asking specifically if you have or want a close circle of friends. I'm asking if you spend enough time with your family and friends. I'm asking if you value the relationship you have with them, and if you think they value the relationship they have with you. And also, if you have a significant other, asking if you want a soulmate, have one, and if you're spending time with them and properly making the relationship into what it is. And then finally, if you have kids, are you spending a lot of time with kids or not? That can be a pretty important category if we look at that. Hobbies and recreation. Here I'm looking more at the fun aspect. So how much fun you're having in your life. Are you relaxing on times where you're saying, I want to be able to get away from work? Am I doing things I enjoy? Those would be your hobbies. Do you have sports that you go to? Do you have activities you go do? Like watching a movie or sewing yarn, making quilts, going out in nature? These kinds of questions are those that we are looking at as we assess the wheel of life. And remember, we've scored a couple of categories on the wheel of life by this point. The picture will start to add up really as we complete the rest of the wheel, but I'm hoping you have a sense of how you're kind of doing on the wheel by this point. And normally if we would be in a session together, this would be a lot slower. I'd be taking time to ask questions of you. I'd probably be probing you a lot more than what I am right now. I probably would be maybe even having you outline more concrete examples and going over fond memories you have as well, just to give me a further sense of what you're talking about and what you're doing. Personal growth. I specifically am asking here about if you're learning and enjoy learning new things. Are you making the time to learn new things? Do you enjoy opportunities to grow? Do the things that you're doing right now allow you to grow as a person? And a big one here too is, do you have a growth mindset? Are you looking not so much at the excuses you're making, but more of actually trying to act and get things done? Go ahead and score your category from 1 to 10. Okay, awareness. At EarthHeart Temple, awareness is culminated into the more interpersonal aspect, but also into really your inside. We measured more of the interpersonal awareness with your friends and family and significant other category. But what I'm interested in when I ask these questions about awareness is, how much time are you aware of yourself? And then how much time are you aware of the world around you? Are you actually going out and being inspired by nature? Are you taking the time to reflect and ask yourself questions about your life? Are you trying to find a vision of your life? And are you trying to find processes and goals to abide by in life? Right? Are you trying to develop goals and a worldview? Are you trying to align yourself a lot more with reality? Are you trying to get to know the people in front of you rather than just be automatically in your bias? These are extremely important questions that we ask as we continue to assess the nature of the wheel. Because what we've done up until this point on the wheel of life is we've just kind of scored 1 to 10. Maybe I've just asked a couple of questions about the wheel that got you thinking, but as you're scoring the 1 to 10, you have to be kind of aware in that. And your first inclination may be, well, I'm of course aware. I'm going to put a 10 out of 10 here, but that's not really what it is. Awareness is just more of, are you acting and doing your life according to a higher power, a higher sense of purpose, or if you don't believe those things, out of a vision you have, out of goals you have? How aligned and close are you to your goals? And then finally, are you getting out in nature? Are you getting inspired? Are you getting reflected? Are you reflecting on your processes and your priorities? Are you hiking? Are you making time to be aware of the nature around you? Are you going to new cities and kind of just being amazed by what's out there? These kinds of questions really add up, and this is probably a category you're not going to be so used to, but I hope that this kind of helps you get a sense of it. Of course, again, if you were in person, I'd be happy to really help you explore this a lot better. But when I think of awareness, and what I would tell you is, just think about, are you aligning yourself with your goals? And then are you making the time to go out in nature and get aligned with your goals through your own reflection process? This can include trips to the lake. This can include your hobbies. Taking the time to go and do that. For me, this just happens to be nature, and it just happens to reflect the name at EarthHeart Temple as well. That's why I include that question there. And then finally, we have the philosophy category. The philosophy category is also the beliefs category. And this is really testing to see if you have a fully fleshed out system of beliefs that you have about the world. Do you have beliefs that empower you to fully live here in physical reality? Do you feel like you are continually distressed? Do you feel like there is no meaning in life? Do you feel like you're just sitting there and not doing anything? This is different than clinical depression or anxiety, and I'm not trying to go after those. I'm just trying to go after the general feeling of wasting of time, or feeling like there's not really anything going on. And sometimes in order to act, we have to have a belief system or a thought process or a pattern that gets us out there, or a motivation that gets us out there, or values alternatively. And so I'm asking here, do you have a fleshed out system of values that you go by? And of course, in a coaching session, I would be asking you more about what these values are and helping you try to assess if these values in any way are contradicting themselves and not helping you get to your goals. The purpose in asking about your values is to make sure they're logical, maybe abide by Aristotle's logic rules, but also to test your schemata, your values, and make sure there are no inconsistencies. And if there are inconsistencies, ask you to figure out how to resolve them, or if you have to live with them for a while, can you live with them for a while, especially if it means you can pursue certain goals. No one really lives in a state of continual inconsistency. But with that said, the inconsistency from the goals can eventually create problems and drive wedges in other projects that you might be working on. That's what I mean when I look at philosophy and beliefs. Again, you may not have an immediate score for this category. You may want to score a 10 out of 10. But I would really just ask you to really think about it, because if you have a system of morals and beliefs and values that is helping you succeed in life, you'll know. You'll know. You'll kind of be able to go back over your career. You'll be able to go back over your friends. You'll be able to go back over your health even. And you'll be able to say, well, I was able to get on the treadmill today because I believe in so-and-so. I was able to meet this person because this person believes this. Or you might say that my appreciation for nature comes from so-and-so. We need to have a backbone of nature or a backbone of something to something in order to fully appreciate it. I say something because I don't know what that is for you. It could be Christian faith. It could be Hindu faith. It could be a spiritual path. It could be you're an atheist and you have certain principles and axioms that you test. And so it's just things for you to think about as you're looking over this question of philosophy. I hope this helps. So go ahead and rate it from 1 to 10. And I'll just give a minute or so for you to actually finish your ratings. Okay, so I hope by this point you'll have the various numbers in your will from 1 to 10 that reflect how satisfied you are with each of these categories in your life. If you have all 10s on your will, congratulations, you are the most consistent person there is on the planet. Reality is, I think each one of us is going to have some varying degrees of flexibility on their will. Parts are going to be not so clear. Other parts are going to be better than others. If you look at my will on the left, for instance, you're going to see that personal growth and philosophy are really 10 out of 10 for me. I've really taken a lot of time with my liberal arts background and Eastern Classics degrees from St. John College in Santa Fe, New Mexico, to really think about what my life should look like. I've read the great books to assess from a liberal arts background what my beliefs should be. And I've had to think a lot about those things, and I'm still having to think about those things today. I'm satisfied with my thinking patterns and what I want to do in assessing new beliefs. And when I have to reassess something, I'm satisfied with that process. My awareness, I had to dock that because I'm still not going out in nature too much given the Texas heat. But the rest of my life, if you look at it on the left, it could be better. And those are things that I'm having to work on now because I've been working so much on the awareness, philosophy, and personal growth that I've neglected the other 4. And so I'm kind of trying to now catch up and get all these other ones, 2s, 9s, and 10s. Or even alternatively, I might lower the philosophy, personal growth, and awareness to work on those. It just kind of really depends. And for you, it may be completely different. You might be in a place where we have to assess and figure out what you're going to do to grow next. And so there are multiple ways to look at your will of life, right? If we were in a coaching session together, the first question I'd probably ask you is, was there a point where the numbers in certain categories of the will were lower or higher than they are now? And I would be then asking you questions about your satisfaction, what you did to get more satisfaction out of that category. If it went down, I'd be asking you questions that led you to not be satisfied. right? I'd also be asking what you want in your goals. How will you get to your goals? How will you get the item or service you're looking for? I'm asking that because you hired me to help you where you are, where you go. They're there to help you. Cheerleader and coach. Maybe there will be insight I have, but I'm just going to be digging and how do you do. So these questions I ask are just kind of help make your questions you have. How will it won't affect others and satisfaction you have in other areas? We don't really think about it much, so if you to say be in a position where really no on the back. We also believe that change can happen really quickly on that wheel of life. I would be asking questions like below to get you to act, to get back points quickly. Your will is you have to be in a state where you feel like it's always the same, but then by a week by week basis or month by month basis or even by year basis, you'll kind of see that it all changed with time. Examples on the right, just for my own self, about things that I'm trying to work on. And I'm definitely hoping to get outside this week to get that awareness out, help down in Texas class. I'm going for a hike, but I'll get back working time. I hope this exercise helps you kind of get a sense of what life coaches are all about. Life coaches are present and future oriented. When you hire a life coach, whether it's from EarthHeart Temple or from another person, we are really there to help you set goals and then accelerate that goal fulfillment. And we do that predominantly by changing your mindset and examining beliefs that may be getting in the way of you fulfilling those goals. We might go through and eliminate some beliefs. We might change other beliefs that you have. And we might also look into pros and cons of everything you want to pursue and help you figure out how and what decisions to make so that you can get to those goals even faster. Having a life coach is also an accountability person for you in getting to those goals. At EarthHeart Temple, I will be assigning frequent homework for you to do so that we can get you to your goals quicker. I'm also someone to brainstorm ideas with. I'm happy to help with my insight and my input. I'm happy to help with my own background. And I'm someone who really has manifested and really made life happen in my life. I'm always an action doer. And that action doing is so important in getting life. And when you hire a life coach, surround yourself with those folks that help you be the best person you can possibly be. And finally, if there are specific goals that I've achieved that you're trying to achieve, I can help you provide insight into those because I've done what you're doing. And I want to help you accomplish the same goals. EarthHeart Temple is the temple that is about your heart and your place on earth. This slide just goes a little bit into how the name EarthHeart Temple is broken up and why it's called as such. Earth means it's more about your surroundings, it's about our environment. And then also the goals and people and things that you live with. They're physically real things. And that is what we mean when I say earth. It's all right there in front of you. Are you able to fully grasp and hold tight of it all? And then we have heart. Heart is more about yourself and the direction you're going in your life. And it's about the feelings and thoughts you have. And it's about the feelings and thoughts you have towards the earth. So now we have to factor in your interactions with all of these goals and people and things, your interactions with them. And then also, when you interact with it, what comes out of that? Feelings and thoughts. Things that we just have to break down together in a live coaching session. And then finally, the word temple, it just simply puts a place, a very sacred place for you to go through the earth-heart aspect of life. So you reflecting about your feelings and thoughts about material things in your life, goals, people, and things, and nature. And the temple just kind of puts separate this thought process, this exploration that everyone has to do in life at some point. And it just gives a place for that. It also is there to respect the divinity or lack thereof you respect. So at EarthHeart Temple, we are actually I'm more secular when it comes to the examination of these beliefs. I just simply picked the name in order to create a place for many people to associate with self-improvement, with thinking about what's best for them, and with getting to the goals that you have. The name just kind of fits everything that I'm trying to do at EarthHeart Temple, everything I'm trying to do in my practice, my life coaching practice, and my Reiki practice, and hence the name, EarthHeart Temple. In addition to life coaching sessions, I also offer Reiki sessions. I am trained in the Usui, which is the traditional Reiki, the karmic, angelic, shamanic branches of Reiki. There's over 200 branches of Reiki, and I specialize in those 4. I also developed my own unique electro-envirosensitive Reiki as well, which I teach to my students in levels 1 and 2. Reiki is a form of energy work that we do, manipulating the human chakras and the electromagnetic field that each living being has. And so when I manipulate that field, part of what I'm trying to do is help you organize your bodily energies better so that things work better as they should. That's really what Reiki is all about. Reiki currently is being done in person as the best recommendation, but it could be done over long distance. I kind of would recommend in person the most for the Reiki. It just, I think, fleshes everything out better. There's not really something to distract you. It just helps you get it all in properly. The certifications classes I have for my Reiki courses are only being done in person right now. So unless you want to come to Texas, I'm not going to be doing any certifications over the internet. There are plenty of other organizations for that. I am also certified in medicinal aromatherapy with Wisdom of the Earth, and I offer sessions in those sessions using their oils, and I also incorporate them very frequently into my Reiki sessions, but sometimes I may just want to use an oil by itself to treat and relax you in a different way that otherwise I wouldn't be able to with Reiki alone. I do offer crystal healing at EarthHeart Temple as well. I am certified in Melody Crystal Healing. Melody is a crystal healer who set up her own school of thought, and I trained under one of her disciples in Boulder, Colorado, and she wrote a whole bunch of books about crystal healing that really can help you with your own internal discoveries. What I frequently do is I will arrange grids on the floor when doing a session, and then I will activate those grids so that you have an opportunity to just sit in them or lay down in them alternatively and just kind of get a sense of what you're doing. I might also just build intuitively grids that I think will help you. I'm also offering filtration sessions as well. Filtration was developed by Dr. Lance Wright, and Dr. Wright very specifically created a modality where I kind of just will play around with the body and just kind of help your body kind of develop a sense of where it wants to go next with your tension, and maybe resort that tension just in a little bit of a different way that will really help you thrive and be the best person you can be. I just know filtration. I studied it with Lance. I am not a certified filtration practitioner, but I have studied it and I do offer it. And I hope you check out Lance's website for more about filtration, and I might include it in the video description below as well. As stated here, I also offer live coaching sessions, which are offered in person, Zoom, or by phone. There's not really any other way I do it right now. I do offer live events and lectures as well. I'll only be doing these over Zoom for now, but I hope one day we can get to a point where I can maybe travel outside the state of Texas again. I can go west, I can go east, I can go to New Mexico, Colorado, maybe out east as well, into other states and offer these services. But, you know, with this coronavirus pandemic and everything, it's going to be a while before we can really travel safely, and it may take a while to get this whole thing fixed. So until then, no real travel outside the state of Texas. And with that, thank you so much for attending. Please check out our social media. I hope you'll subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content, and check out the Instagram and Facebook that we have. I hope you'll follow. I hope this Wheel of Life exercise was really helpful for you to kind of just get a sense of more of what I offer at EarthHeart Temple. And with that, I cannot wait to meet you in person. Thank you.